Alright guys, welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to learn the difference between fill and opacity when using layers inside Photoshop. So let's get started. Alright, here open inside Photoshop. If we go to the layers panel, you can see I have 3 layers created. All of these layers are type layers. The only difference is that the type is different. For example, this one is a normal type layer. The second one here is a type layer which has been converted into a smart object. And the third one right here is a rasterized type layer. The reason I created these 3 layers is to show you that what I'm going to explain in this video can apply to all these types of type layers. So I'm going to select the first type layer right here and click on this button to enable it on the canvas. Now if we go to this portion of the screen, we can see opacity and something called the fill. If you need to see the word fill opacity, just click on this empty portion. When the layer style window opens up, you can see here it says fill opacity and up here it says opacity. All the options in this particular portion can also be manipulated here. So I'm going to click on this button to cancel out. Now let us say I select this layer and under opacity, of course there are many ways of reducing and increasing the values, but I'm just going to click there and type 0. You see, since the opacity is 0, we no longer see that layer on the screen. Let us take the opacity to 100 and take the fill to 0. The same thing still happens. So what is the difference between fill and opacity inside Photoshop? I'll start by increasing the fill value to 100 so everything becomes normal like so. Now to see the difference between fill and opacity, we need to apply an effect to this particular layer. Okay guys, so let us go to this portion and double click. When the layer style window opens up, let us say I intend to add maybe an outer glow to this particular layer. So I'll go to outer glow at the bottom, click on it to enable it. Then I'll take this opacity value up and then change the color. I like maybe a pink color, this one will do. I'll increase the size value and adjust the spread value just so slightly. Now I'm going to click OK to confirm. Now if we take the opacity down to 0, the same thing still happens. But this time, if I increase the opacity up to 100 and take the fill to 0, we see this cool effect right here. Okay guys? So just know that the normal opacity affects the transparency of the whole layer, but the fill opacity affects the transparency of the whole layer without affecting the effects. Okay guys? And we can see this is pretty nice on the screen. So on the layers panel, I'm going to click on this arrow to collapse that effect. And then I'm going to click on this smart object layer, make sure it is enabled, and then disable this other layer. Then I'm going to take the fill to 0 and simply hold the Alt or the Option key and then drag this effect to duplicate it on this other layer. You can see that since the same effect is applied with a fill value of 0, the same thing still happens. So it works even on smart object layers. I'll hold the Alt or the Option key for the last time and click to duplicate that effect to the other layer just like so. I'm going to disable this layer and then enable this other layer. Now you see, because we still have a fill value of 100%, that effect is not available. So I'll click here and change from 100% to 0%. So the opacity affects the transparency of the whole layers and the fill affects the transparency of the whole layer without affecting the effects. And this is applicable on normal type layers, smart object layers, and even rasterized type layers. So that does it for this video guys. I hope you found something very interesting in this video to watch. This is really something that I failed to understand the time I started using Photoshop for the very first time. I was very confused about the difference between opacity and fill. But I hope by the end of this video, you have a good understanding of the difference between fill and opacity when using layers inside Photoshop. Thank you for watching the video to the end, and please kindly subscribe to this channel. By doing so, I will be motivated to create more videos like this. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one tomorrow. Bye bye.